He loved his music.
Perfect pitch. He could.
That's what I hear, right?
We used to sit at a certain eatery in Orange, and he could say, go over and hit a note on the telephone.
Exactly.
And he could tell you B flat, A minor, C sharp. Perfect pitch.
Oh yeah. He used to bring me on stage when I was 7 and do all the Paul Anka songs and the Diamonds, Little Darling, and everything. And they used to stick money in my pockets because my father had the group up there.
Is that under the
Hollywood,
table?
the Hollywood Playboys.
Hugh Garrity and all those.
Oh yeah. We used to have fun.
Can't fool me, baby. I seen you there last night.
Oh yeah.
How did he get the group together? Because he was looking for a writer, right?
When he went back with Tommy with the Four Lovers, he says there's something missing. We need songwriters. We can't, He goes, I might as well have my own group. He was with Nicky and the Highlights, or Nicky and the Nightlights,
Yeah.
and the Hollywood Playboys. And then when they found out that Bob Gaudio, they actually rehearsed on the phone from California.
On the phone?
Yeah, with Bobby
gosh.
playing the keyboards and my father playing the bass. They knew they had it.
So I thought when Gloria recorded over the phone, and you guys did it years ago.
Oh,
speakerphones.
They knew when they got together they were going to explode.
His father could arrange stuff. Just for coincidence, I went last week to the doctor. We're talking, I'm telling him about this bicentennial and that they're having a float for the Four Seasons. So he said, oh, you like the Four Seasons? I said, I told him what I did with the street and everything. He says, funny, because I grew up loving them. And he goes, I went to, before I became a doctor, because I went with a bunch of guys to a restaurant in West Orange, and he said, we drank a few bottles of wine, and we went into the bathroom, and we heard a guy humming. And the guy came out of the bathroom, and it was Nick Machoch. And we were all singing Four Seasons songs together, and he took us to a little stage. What was the name of that place I told you, Walter?
Ricky's in the Valley.
Ricky's in the Valley. And he took them up on a little stage, and he had them do parts of Ragdoll. He had them do the Four Seasons. This was after the group had disbanded and everything. It was probably in the 70s, late 70s. He had the just normal guys he met in the restaurant do the parts of Ragdoll because he was so good at. And he said we actually sounded good. We didn't know to sing because Nick made us do the parts.
Oh yeah.
He always liked to work with groups. He gets his father gets credit for producing Carmel, along with Eddie Ventura. Carmel.
And my father worked with other groups, the Toys.
Goodfellas, the Toys.
He's actually playing the bass on Lover's Concerto.
Yeah, Sandy Lindsay, Denny Randell.
He helped the girls out.
Yes, he.
And they used to call the house all the time. I used to speak to them on the phone.
So you've got some good musical genes in you.
Yeah.
Were you a hockey player?
I was a hockey player, but I used to sing in a band too. But we did a little more heavier stuff like Led Zeppelin and stuff, and Eric Clapton. But
are you singing now, Bobby?
I'm learning how to sing with my new teeth.
Okay, we all are.
We don't talk about it.
It's all right.
Okay.
It's all right.
They work, right?
Yeah, they work. Thank you.
Good.
And
any special stories? Because those are the things that I'm sure on the tour, the bus tour, people want to hear. There's so many wonderful things.
I have a question to
Go ahead.
ask.
Yeah, I have
Can I ask
some
a
too.
question?
Yeah.
What's the question?
Camera lady, is it true that Rudy Valley is Frankie Valli's father?
no.
I'm sorry.
He was a nice man. I used to go to
I'm
Broadway
just making
tonight.
a joke, by the way.
I know.
I wanted to see you laugh. I
It's
want to see your
It's
teeth.
his stepfather.
It's just there's so much stuff happening between
So much stuff.
the bus tour, the Broadway play, our street naming.
The Broadway play is in
coming out.
17 different locations around the world. We have Melbourne, we have it was Melbourne, London, the rest is Canada, and then 14 cities across the United States, from Vegas, Pittsburgh, North Carolina, etc., etc.
And she has been to almost all of those shows.
Wow.
Even on nights when there's no show, Audrey goes and sits there.
And on the day that we honor these Italians, to
It's a
the
joke,
day,
Simon.
Columbus sailed to America today, 1492. 516 years
We tried to get him on the float today.
He did it in honor, and the only other recognition today was Ralph Vaughan Williams, a British composer, was born today. So music, Italian.
What was his name?
Ralph Vaughan Williams, a British composer, was born in
He sang in the Four Lovers at one time.
1872, and now we
he
have
was there.
2008. We have the
Everybody
Four
was in the Four
Seasons. What I want to know is, how did Bob Gaudio get the big house in Montclair? Did they all have huge homes, or was that the was that
money.
My father had the smallest home.
Yeah,
he got paid the least.
He went on and did a lot of producing.
Okay.
Gaudio did for Frank Sinatra and a lot of other musicians.
Okay.
So he stepped away from being in front of the camera.
Right.
That wasn't his
guess,
preference. Just like Nick,
Neil
in a way,
Diamond,
he wanted to
a bunch
do
of
the
people.
arranging. You know, Bob wanted
Okay.
to do the producing.
Okay.
Frankie liked to do the singing.
And there's money that comes from songwriting and publishing and owning your masters also.
Right.
Okay. Any other special stories, Jim? You must have collected a few. You know, there was a fabulous story about that house that Tommy DeVito mentioned at the
Italian Affair.
Tribune dinner.
Yeah.
He said that Frank Sinatra said to him, he must have said, "Let's come to your house,
Yes,
Bob
they were
Gaudio, and
gonna
let
meet.
us sit around the pool."
Yes.
They didn't have a pool. So in 4 days, which I think was the 4 days time limit they had, they put in a pool. And when Frank Sinatra came to the house in Montclair, somehow they encouraged him to go out because it was raining that day too. And you know, my dad was like a mason contractor, so wet cement, water, rain, you're finished. So he picks up a stick and writes his name, Frank Sinatra, in the wet cement by the pool. And when the house was sold recently, when was it sold? Recently?
About
An hour
and a half ago.
Has it been sold a while ago? Because
It was a while ago.
It was in the paper. Okay, 'cause I know I've seen pictures.
We'll check that out
and
later.
The section of Frank Sinatra's that concrete was lifted and sold at auction for several million dollars, which was a very interesting story. But any others?
Yeah, the story goes that Bob Gaudio thought he had a pool. He mentioned to his wife that Frank Sinatra was going to be coming over and they were going to sit by the pool. And she said, "Bob, that was in California that we had a pool. We don't have a pool here." And he said, "Well, get one quickly. Frank's coming
okay.
over." And so they did it very quickly. And
That's an investment.
that's how I heard the story.
That
As they
is a
say in the
good-
show, you ask 4 different guys, you get 4 different
But that's
stories.
a good investment. A good, well worth it.
Has your very large camera crew gotten any shots of the very, very historic walls in
You
this?
know,
That's-
Jim, can you
museum?
I
point
just
out?
have the most important thing in here. I mean,
Okay.
with the history of the Four Seasons,
Right.
maybe they wouldn't have became the Four Seasons if the guy wearing that shirt up there.
This is the shirt that is now part of the Four Seasons Museum.
Audrey, this is the DVD for your bus tour.
Mm-hmm.
Did we get the dates in
It's Sunday, November 9th,
Sunday, November 9th?
coming up soon. That's our fall season.
What
for the
date was
Four
that,
Seasons.
Walter?
November 9th.
Okay,
Yes.
Jim, we got that right.
Right.
We're booked the date. Okay.
We generally, it's from 10:30 to 3:30. We start here in Union. And one of the sites that we added on the last bus tour here in Union was very exciting. Charlie Colello and James Petrucca was emailing with him, and we got his address here in Union, where he used to live when he was with the group. And I went knocking on the woman's door, and she invited me in, and I said, "Well, you know, this member of the Four Seasons lived here." She said, "Yes, they added this room on the back, I heard, and it's a soundproof room, and they would rehearse here before going to the studio to record." And sure enough, she showed me the room that, and I was able to take a picture of the back of the units, and it shows that only this house has this added room. And she said, "Listen, when you come by with the bus tour, come in." So now we go right into her home, and we take pictures right in the room where the group
Audrey, you're good.
recorded. So that was that's a nice touch.
Since we are in Jim Petrucca's Yesterday's Treasures, lots of memorabilia. What do you have, Audrey?
I have a trophy from the Four Seasons, very basic little Four Seasons 200 Club, I guess, for those holding 200.
Can I say something about this?
Please. Yep.
Is anybody here who earned this trophy?
Yeah, what's the story?
That was given to me by the man who, when the Four Seasons went to Union to rehearse and try to get the job in the Four Seasons Bowling Alley Lounge, they were turned down by the manager, Joe LeGregor, which
Okay.
is part of the play. He came here and he says, after attending your ceremony for the street name, I feel you should have this stuff in your store because I have it at home and it's the last of anything, including my shirt that I wore
The
when I told the group
He had
that
that.
they can't have the job.
He remembers
That's the
that?
Four Lovers.
Oh my gosh.
So when they went out into the parking lot, I guess they said to each other, we were on Ed Sullivan's show as the Four Lovers. We recorded on RCA. We couldn't make it. What do we do now? We can't even make a bowling alley. We can't even make the date in the bowling alley. And they've seen the sign blinked, and they said, how about we change our name to the Four Seasons, put out a new song? They won't even know it was us, the Four Lovers. And it took off
A
from there.
sign from God. See?
Just the bowling alley, actually, if they didn't audition,
Strike.
they wouldn't have took the name the Four Seasons.
Right.